Hi everyone, and welcome to 4 Acre Homestead. My name is Jennifer, and today we are going to be talking about all the vegetables and fruits and herbs that we plan to grow here in our garden. I am very new to gardening. I've never gardened before. I have never preserved food before, and I've never had a homestead before. I grew up in cities, suburbs, lived in a subdivision my entire life, and my husband was very similar. You know, over the last year or so, we felt like owning our own land and creating a homestead was something that was meant for us. So we moved from our subdivision house and purchased a little house in the country here on just over 4 acres, and we are creating our homestead. The first part of that is going to be to get our garden in place. Today we are going to go over all the seeds that we plan to plant in our garden over spring, fall, and it is a very ambitious amount, but we plan to have, a lot of success, and I know we will account for some failures, but it's a learning process, so we're just gonna go for it and learn as we go. We can actually start seeds as early as this week at the end of January in our zone, which is very exciting. And I will do another video showing all of our seed starting. We have a seed starting set up, and we will do that together. With that said, it's very important that I know what has to get planted at what time. I found these online from another homesteader had made these, and they're cute little cards that just correlate with your frost date. So for example, this one says outdoors 6 to 8 weeks, and you would put after your frost date, you would put that date there. These were super cute and very helpful. What I did is I printed out all these little cards, and I'll try to find a link for these and put them in the description below for you guys, because I really do think they are great little cards. So I printed those out, and then I put them in plastic bags, and I wrote on the bag what the week range would be. For example, this one is planting indoors 10 to 12 weeks, which for me, from the frost date, which for me would be January 25th to February 8th. So this week, this is the stuff that we can actually start planting as early as this week, which is very exciting. And then I would put the corresponding seed packets with whatever the range was, whatever week was. And that's how we ended up with all these bags. And I can reuse these bags. I can add more seeds to them. So this was a very quick, easy way to get all of the seeds organized and in one spot. Okay, now let's dive into all the seeds that we are going to be planting this year. We'll start out with what we're going to actually start indoors, and then we'll go through up to the frost date planting, and then even a couple of things that I will plant after our frost date. So the first thing we have is everything that we're going to start indoors this week, so 10 to 12 weeks before the frost date. The first herbs that we're going to try to start indoors is sage, and we have a thyme, just basic common thyme. We also have oregano, which will be delicious in our Italian dishes. And then we have a wild za'atar oregano, which says that seed comes all the way from Israel. Fancy. All right. The next thing that we get to plant is celery. So I just purchased a basic celery. So Utah tall celery from Baker Creek. Just your average celery to try. And we can also start leeks. Another just basic leek. Nothing too fancy about this one. The last thing that we get to grow starting indoors is gonna be our onions. And funny thing about onions, and this is, again, I'm brand new. I had originally ordered Walla Walla onions, which I was very excited about. I've read from and seen a lot of people on YouTube and Instagram and stuff have great success with these. And as I learned more about onions, I learned that it actually matters what type of onion that you purchase. There are long day, intermediate day, and short day varieties. Walla Walla is a long day variety, so it needs 12 to 14 hours of sunlight every day, which we may or may not get here in the South. I'm gonna plant them anyway. We're gonna do an experiment. Why not? We're already planting everything else. We're gonna try to do an experiment and see if we can get these to grow. Just in case we can't, I did buy a short day onion. These are sweet Spanish yellow, just basic yellow onions. I did buy these that should do just fine in the South because we are a short day variety area. And then I also purchased red burgundy onions, which again, another short day variety, which we should do just fine with. So that is it for the 10 to 12 weeks, everything that we get to start this week actually, which is gonna be exciting. Okay, the next bag we have here is everything that we get to start indoors 8 to 10 weeks. And this one is going to be a lot of our peppers that we get to start. Coming towards the middle to end of February is probably when I'll start these. So the first ones we have are basic bell pepper type varieties. We have California Wonder. We have the big red pepper. We have Marconi Reds, which seem to be a sweet Italian red pepper. So that'll be something fun to like experiment with. And then I got this pepper as part of a pack that came, I think a set of 4, and this one came with it. I've never even seen these before, but they're chocolate peppers. And they don't taste like chocolate or anything, but they look like the color of chocolate. So this would be a cool one to try. I've never even seen those. The other peppers that we're gonna do are a lot of medium to spicy peppers. So the first one is Cubanelle peppers, which will be fun. We've got poblanos. We have Anaheims. And those are the two kind of medium range peppers that we'll use for making stuffed peppers with and stuff like that. These next ones we're gonna use a lot for hot sauces, which will be fun to try and experiment with. The first one being Datil peppers. It says they're blazing hot fruits with a complex fruity flavor. Okay. And then we also have this Sugar Rush peach pepper, which I really want to make a peach hot sauce with, or a peach salsa would be really good to have with this one. It says long peach colored fruits that have a tropical flavor. So very cool. I've heard that these are very prolific as well, which is great. And then we also have Thai red chilies as well. So very fun. And then the last thing that we're gonna start indoors at that time is gonna be another herb for the herb garden area we're gonna plant, and that's just lemon balm. So we'll start that indoors, and that'll be great. All right, the next set of seeds that we have are seeds that we get to actually direct sow out in the garden towards the end of February, which is gonna be very exciting. These are all cold hardy, frost hardy vegetables that should do well. Even if there was a frost, they should do just fine in the conditions. The first one we're gonna do are Georgia Southern Collards. And then we've also got the Southern Giant Curled Mustard Greens. So a lot of these are gonna be our greens. We got Dazzling Blue Kale. And my family is not a big kale eating family, but I want to grow this, and I was going to freeze dry it and then turn it into like a kale powder that we can add to smoothies or hide it in foods so they can get the nutritions from it. We've also got bunching onions. We also have carrots. So we have a kaleidoscope blend carrot, just fun rainbow colors, the coral carrots, and then we have scarlet nantes carrots. And this seed packet broke, so I had to like tape it down, but very cool. We've got radishes. So I got crimson giant radishes. And turnips. We're just gonna try one turnip, the purple top white globe. So that should be a good one. The last thing we get to plant outdoors is all of our lettuce varieties. We like a lot of romaine lettuce, so I have crisp mint, which is a type of romaine lettuce. We have little gem lettuce, which I believe is like baby, it's either a bib or it might be a type of romaine. Not sure about that one. And then we have Paris Island romaine, so another romaine lettuce. And then we have two just fun ones. We have our just normal spinach, salad sensation spinach, just a basic spinach lettuce. And then salad bowl lettuce, which I'm not sure what that means, but it looks really cool and fun, so we'll have that. Okay, moving right along. We are at 6 to 8 weeks indoors starting. And this is going to be a majority of our tomatoes that we're gonna start indoors. This will be between February 22nd and March 8th. The first one's a free seed that I got from Baker Creek when I had ordered my seeds from them. And it's so cute. They are called tomato spoon tomatoes. And they're so cute because they're like itty bitty tomatoes that will fit in a spoon. And I think the kids are gonna love this one and they're gonna have fun with that. Next is Aunt Ruby's German green tomatoes. And I'm not a big green tomato fan, but I've seen a lot of people make salsa verde with these tomatoes as well. So that's what my plan is with those. And then we have Cherokee Purple, which is just your heirloom tomato. Fun one. It's like a slicing tomato. And then Bonnie's Best, which is definitely just a basic slicing tomato. And then the last one we're gonna start is tomatillos, also for salsa verde and maybe like green hot sauces or something like that. We also get to start some cabbage, which is exciting. I like cabbage. I have one type of variety that is a Chinese cabbage. It's michili, not sure how to pronounce that. But that'll be a fun one to try. Never had Chinese cabbage. And then we've got your basic green and red cabbage. So Golden Acre cabbage, Jersey Wakefield variety, the early brown Dutch, all basic greens. It'll be exciting to see which one does well here and which one grows the best. And then we have Red Acre cabbage, which just is like your basic red cabbage. We're also gonna start 3 other peppers. Now these peppers I'm starting a couple weeks behind the others, just so we don't have a massive pepper harvest and have to make tons of hot sauce at one time. And these peppers I will use more for salsas and picos and stuff like that. The first one is cayenne pepper that we're gonna plant, and this one I'm really excited for because I plan to dry it and then make our own red chili flakes and cayenne powder. So that'll be exciting. Then we also have jalapeno peppers. Just your basic jalapeno and your basic serrano pepper. And those, like I said, will be used for a lot of our salsas and stuff like that. So they will be planted about the same time that tomatoes will be planted for that as well. Then we also have a couple of herbs. So we have Thai sweet basil, which is a fun little basil. Peppermint, spearmint. Spearmint. And then we've got a normal basil. Basil Genovese. Your Italian basil, good for marinaras and stuff like that. And then I found this dark purple basil, which I thought was really pretty. And my plan is to make an herb garden out front, and I thought the purple basil would be really pretty inside of there. And the last few things, oh, and we have parsley. It's just flat leaf parsley, again, good for marinaras and stuff like that. And then the other tomatoes that we have that we get to start, I'm gonna use mostly for making homemade ketchups and a lot of my pasta sauces probably with these. So we've got Roma tomatoes, Amish paste tomatoes, and then San Marzanos. And again, those will all be a lot of my homemade ketchups and tomato paste and stuff like that. We'll use those for. Because I read that those are the best, and I've heard those are the best to use for those things because I think they don't have a tough skin or something, or they're very, like they're not very seedy. I don't know. We're gonna give it a try. All right, the next one we have is stuff that gets started 4 to 6 weeks out, which looks like it's just 2 things in here. And these actually get to go out in the garden. So we don't start these indoors. These will actually go back out in the garden. And that is Alexandria strawberries. And I've heard a lot of people say that strawberries are a little bit hard to start. So we will try it. We might end up starting strawberry plants and planting those as well, but we'll try it. And then Sugar Daddy, like snap peas, type peas. All right, and then we've got our 2 to 4 weeks. And I believe these both as well. Yes, these are both going outside as well. So everything is kind of staggered, which will be good because then I'm not harvesting everything at one time. But I will have broccoli. So we have Waltman 29 broccoli, just a very basic green broccoli. It says this produces 4 to 8 inch green heads. So, and then we have golden beets. And I'm not a big beet person. I don't think my family really likes beets much, but my sister and my dad really like beets. So really I'm growing these for them. And again, I can make a beet powder and we can add that powder to other things and then people won't even know they're eating the beets, but look at the nutrition. So that's my plan for those. Okay, we're at 1 to 2 weeks before our frost date. We're getting there. And before the frost date, 1 to 2 weeks, which will be the beginning of April, is the only plant that we're gonna be planting that week is going to be our corn, which I'm very, very excited to plant corn. I have 4 different varieties here. So these first 2 are like sweet eating corns. We got Golden Bantam. So this will just be like corn on the cob, eating frozen corn, stuff like that. Same with this one, Country Gentleman. And then the next 2 are more for cornmeal or popcorn for this one. So this one's a popcorn, Burrow Mountain. And Burrow Mountain. And they said that you could also use this to grind and make cornmeal with, or masa, so there's that. And then this next one I just thought was really pretty, and again, I can use it to make cornmeal with, and that's the Hopi Turquoise, Hopi. And we could do like blue corn tortillas and blue corn masa, so that's exciting. I'm very excited about the corn. I think that's gonna be a really fun one to try, and hope that our corn will survive the squirrel, deer, and bird pressure we have here in Georgia. Okay, we have finally made it to the frost date bag. This is the bag that we can plant at the frost date, a couple days after the frost date. We'll probably wait a couple days after the frost date. We're gonna have enough in the ground going by this point. And this is the bulk of what we're gonna be planting. So we have in here, we've got our green beans, we got Contender green beans, and we got the Blue Lake Bush variety green beans. I have another pea variety, so sweet peas, it's Sugar Daddy. And these are shelling peas that we will shell and put in the freezer. We also have fennel, so another herb that we're gonna be putting in our herb garden. And we've also got, well, I don't know where it just went. There it is. We also have chives. So another one that we're going to be putting in the herb garden. The next thing we have is our melons that we will be starting. We've got strawberry watermelon, which doesn't taste like strawberry or anything. It's just called that because of its color, apparently. But they can get up to 25 pounds, which is big old strawberry. We have the Tommy Apple melons, which is a cantaloupe type variety named after Mr. Tommy Apple. Thank you, Mr. Tommy. We do like cantaloupe in this house, so we are going to be enjoying lots of those once they are ready. And then we also have, well, I thought I had, we'll get to it. Oh, there it is. We also have Sugar Baby watermelon. And those are supposed to be really small watermelons. They only get 6 to 10 pounds, but they're supposed to be very sweet and seedless. So that'll be fun. Next, we have our summer squash that we're gonna be starting. We've got Black Beauty zucchini squash, and then a crookneck early golden squash. So just your typical yellow squash and zucchini. We have cucumbers that'll be going in at that time as well. We've got the Garden Sweet burpless cucumbers. We've got Muncher. We've got Muncher cucumbers. We have baked alpha cucumbers, and those are all kind of pickling, not pickling, those are all our slicing. These ones, they say they could also be used for pickling, which would be good because we plan on doing lots and lots of pickles. We love pickles here. And then also Boston pickling cucumbers. Because again, we love pickles. We have Oregon Sugar Pod snow peas. More of like a snap pea that you could eat, where we can actually eat the entire pod. And we don't have to shell those kind. And then the last thing that we get to sow directly in the ground are all of our beans, which I'm very excited about as well. We have 2 different types of black beans. So we got the black turtle bean. And then we have Cherokee Trail of Tears. And then we have lima bean, Henderson Bush's lima beans. We have average pinto beans. And then we have California black eyed pea cowpeas. Like black eyed peas. So. And that's it for the after frost date or at the frost date seeds that we get to sow. I only have a few more seeds that will go in after this frost date. This is the bulk of the seeds at this point. The seeds that we have left are just gonna be a few flowers that we're gonna try that will go in around 2 to 4 weeks after the frost date. And those are Evening Sun sunflowers. We got Cracker Jack marigolds. Eskimo marigolds, which I thought were really pretty. I've never seen a white marigold, so I like that. That was pretty. zinnias, just colorful zinnias. Envy, green zinnias. And then these are called candy canes because they look like little candy cane zinnias, which I thought were really pretty. So just a few flowers. Next year, I want to start a big cut flower garden, but since we are brand new to all of this again, and I know nothing about gardening or any of this, we're gonna do one thing at a time. So, okay, the last thing that we have to plant out, or that we have planned to plant out in the garden after the frost date, is just our fall our fall squashes. And these are gonna be all of our pumpkins and stuff like that. And we won't plant these out probably till the end of June, early July, because they don't need that much heat and they do need some time to grow, but if we plant them out then, they should be ready to go October to November. These are called fairy tale pumpkins. And then we have Casper white pumpkins, which again I thought were very pretty. And the crazy thing is that even though they're white on the outside, the inside still the orange yellow pumpkin squash. So that's pretty cool. We have Jarradale, like a blue gray squash pumpkin. This one apparently is also very well for pumpkin pie filling and pumpkin puree. That'll be exciting to try. And then I got these for the kids because I knew that they would just love them. They're called Jack Be Littles. And they're just like the tiny little pumpkins. They're gonna be adorable. We got small sugar pumpkins for pumpkin pies and stuff like that, because I know that they are smaller, they're sweeter, and I think they have a softer flesh. So these will be delicious. And then I thought it'd be really fun to be able to grow our own jack-o'-lantern pumpkins that we can carve during Halloween. So that'll be exciting. Then the other ones we have are just a winter acorn squash. So this one's called Table Queen Winter Squash. And then we have a honey nut, which is kind of like a butternut squash. And then the last one we have is a butternut. It's a Waltham butternut squash. I think just your basic butternut squash. So we have a lot planned, and I'm very excited to get all of this going. Thank you for watching. I hope that you guys will join us on our journey to try to grow all of these seeds that we talked about, and you will help give advice, those of you who have done this before, and I hope those of you that are new will come along for the journey with me. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day.